All right. Hello and welcome to Journey to Success. My name is Pete Asmus. I will be your host tonight and actually every Sunday night. And today is November, let's see, what did I get it right? November 3rd, 2013. Today is the first time that we're back using video again. So I'm going to be checking, making sure that we're recording, right? And then in addition, I want to make sure that everybody is understanding what I'm saying. So I'm going to try and talk as much as I can right to you because I think it's gonna add a better connection for us. But at the same time, I'm going to be checking over here and making sure that I can always see what's going on. All right. So let's start this off. Today, we're going to be talking about, strategies. All right. And I think it's really important to talk about strategies because look, we've been talking about when we started, we were talking about passion, right? First, we talked about it's all about you. You've got to understand that when we are going for success, when you are going for success, when you're looking to achieve something greater, you're going to have to sacrifice things, and and it's always going to be the things that you want to do because it's not sacrificing if you don't want to do it, right? If I tell you, okay, look, in order to get healthier, you're going to not have to eat food that tastes like crap to you. All right. So every food out there that doesn't taste good to you, you're not going to have to eat that in order for you to eat healthier. That's not sacrificing anything to you, right? Because you're not waking up going, man, I hope to God I have to eat something horrible in order for me to get healthier. That's not how we think. So when you think about sacrifice, the hard part for us to put our minds around is, well, okay, sacrifice for how long? Right? Because that's typically where we're going to go. Okay, well, how long do I have to sacrifice for? Because I'm willing to sacrifice for a period of time, right? But I'm not willing to sacrifice for too long because then maybe it just won't work. And that's where the passion has got to come in. Because here's the thing, when you're going after your dream, when you're going after your calling, right? You you don't really care if you get paid for it or not. You're doing it because you truly love doing it. Now, the key to this whole thing is finding something that you love doing and then having a way to monetize it. Because if you can't monetize it, you're not going to be able to do it for very long. I saw a commercial recently and it said, wouldn't you like to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want? And obviously the answer is yes, right? And it said, well, that should be retirement. And in all reality, they're right? That's what the American dream is. Look, when we retire, we get to go and we get to hang out now, right? When we get to retire, all the worry is over. Everything is taken care of. We got Social Security. I've got my 401k. I've got this. I've got that. I'm going to be able to go live on a golf course somewhere and be able to hang out, drive my little electric car around, right? And everything is going to be fantastic. And I'm telling you, I've been to those communities in Arizona. They exist. They all have an electric car. I think that every home in there, the mobile homes, they're all sold with electric cars attached to them. But I've been to that environment, and yeah, it's great. But wouldn't you like to have all of that, but maybe a little sooner? The other thing is there's a lot of people right now that aren't going to have that no matter what, right? The current path that they're on, their trajectory does not leave them in a spot or a place that is going to allow them to not have to worry about anything. Those days are gone. So the reality is now you're stuck in a spot where what are you going to do? I hear so much on Facebook and well, Facebook, I guess, right? It's the only place I'm looking. But I always hear from different sources, different people, man, the economy sucks. Man, this sucks. Man, that sucks. You know what? Everything sucks. If that's what you focus on, it all does. So what are you focusing on? Are you walking around and looking at I heard this on Shark Tank. I'll bet you're the kind of guy that sees $100 on the floor and you don't pick it up. You're looking down the street to see if there's more money down there that you could go get instead, right? Instead of taking the opportunity that is right in front of you. Now, a lot of times the other thing that we do is we don't take action on the opportunity because we have a fear that what we're going to do isn't going to work. We have a fear that what we're trying to accomplish isn't the right direction for us to go. We have a fear that our decision making isn't the right decision, right? The only thing that is going to make you a better decision maker is to make decisions. Do you understand what I'm saying? The only way that you're ever going to get better at anything is to do it over and 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 over. Because the first time you do it, you're going to suck at it. That's the way it works. Think about anything that you've done in your life, right? It doesn't matter how fun it was doing it the first time, you probably weren't great at it. But you know what? When it was fun to do, you practice over and over and over. And man, you couldn't wait to practice, right? All you wanted to do was practice. Well, what could you do that you love that much? That's where passion comes in, right? That's where that heart comes in. That thing that says, man, nobody is going to tell me that I can't do it. Nobody is going to get in my way. You are not going to tell me that I can't accomplish my goals. You're just not going to do it. I don't believe you. I believe in myself way more than I believe in any other human being on this planet. Now, the reason that I believe in myself more than anybody else is because when I was alone, when I was all by myself, when I lost everything, nobody came along to pick me up. I had to do that. Nobody came along and said, you know what, everything's going to be great. You know, guess what? Here's what you can do. I had to turn and look at myself and go, what can I do? What can I start focusing on? What can I start looking at and going in that direction that is going to give me what I want? And so I started realizing that for me, it was I wanted to help people. And I wanted to help people take action. I wanted to help people get to the next level. I wanted to help people get to I wanted to do for other people what Tony Robbins did for me. And I wanted to try and do it better. And I'm not saying that, that what he does isn't good. It's amazing. It got me to where I am. But I also see there were holes in it for me, right? And I know if there were holes in it for me, then there are holes in it for everybody else. Or maybe it was just the presentation or whatever. But for me, I wanted to do more. I wanted to add a bigger piece to it. I wanted to take what he was doing and then add a component to it where you could make money at it as well. And I think that real estate is a fantastic way to make that money aspect, right? But for me, I don't want to just show you how to make money. I want to show you how to have a better life. I want to show you how to get out of life what you want, what you deserve. And here's the thing. I want you to listen to this really closely. You are getting what you deserve. Now, we don't always like to hear that. In fact, typically we hate hearing that. But it's because we're getting what we don't want, right? Think about this, right? Hold on for a second. I have been talking so much today and so much yesterday. You have to realize I just got back from the REI Expo. So all we've been doing all weekend is talking to about, I think there was 200-300 people there. I had a blast. If you guys lived in Southern California and didn't go, you missed out. If you guys live anywhere in the vicinity of Vegas, next week on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to be at Vegas at the AAPL Expo. Come and see me. I promise you I can improve whatever you're doing. I can introduce you to people that are going to be there that can definitely take whatever you're doing to the next level. I'm going to know a lot of people at that event. And here's the thing. We always talk about it. You're one connection away from your next deal, right? Why not come and let me help you hyper connect to whoever it is that you need to connect to? Anyways, all right. So enough of that. We'll get into that stuff later. But when we talk about belief, when we talk about believing in who you are, right? That's the next step. And that's kind of what I was leading into. I've got this thing where I want to help people so bad that I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to do the little things that people won't notice, because to me, it's about being a brand. To me, it's about what are you willing to do? Look, I'm willing to be here every Sunday night. We're going to be in Vegas next week. And my wife said, you're going to have to cancel next week. And I said, I'm not. The only time I will ever cancel a Sunday night at 6 p.m. Pacific ever is if I'm in a plane, because I cannot do it in a plane. And it isn't that I don't want to. I would love to be able to be like, all right, guys, I am on a plane right now, sitting up in first class. Look, check out, I would love to be able to do that, but it's not going to happen until I own my own plane. All right. So give it a year or so. But right now, I've made that commitment to you. I have made a commitment to you that I will be here every Sunday night at 6 p.m. Pacific. I had to leave the REI Expo to race home so that I could be here. I had to race. Once I got home, I moved everything around. I took a shower real quick. I put this up. I got out my other computer so that I could do a video, because I told you guys last week that I was going to start doing videos for you guys. I want you guys to realize what I'm saying to you. When I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. I commit to it. I follow through. If I'm willing to commit an hour and a half every week to you, what are you guys committing to yourself? Are you committing at least this hour and a half to you? Are you committing at least another 5 hours of motivation listening to our podcast or our radio show during the week? We do 3 other live radio shows, or we do 3 radio shows per week now. We've got a Monday and Tuesday, it's the same show. Wednesday's a live show. And then Thursday, Friday is a show. So there's 3 shows now a week you guys can plug into to get more information, better resources. Those radio shows, I try and bring on special guests that are doing something in real estate that's going to be interesting to you. If you like it, if you're interested, you can call in on Wednesdays and call into the live show. How cool is that? I'm trying to make everything accessible to you. This Wednesday, I'm going to have Eddie Speed. If you guys want to learn about notes, tune in on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Tune in to c2creia.com / what is it? AM 1450. So c2creia.com AM 1450. Tune into that one on here. And we're going to be in the studio, and I'm going to have Eddie Speed there talking about notes. If you had questions and you don't have a mentor and you don't have a coach that does notes and you have questions, why wouldn't you tune into an hour show that's live and be able to ask your questions live? I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give you that kind of resource on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, I will have somebody. The following week, I believe I'm going to have Phil Grove is going to be on. We're going to be doing an event out here in California, a 2-day free event. 2 days, free, absolutely free. Come and learn how to use better software. But remember, like I tell you guys all the time, software is not going to make you a millionaire. Software is not going to make you wealthy. Software is not going to do your real estate for you. Only you can do your real estate. Only you can make that software blow up or sit in a box. Only you can make it effective. So when we're talking about come to this free 2-day event, right? I think it's November 15th and 16th. I don't have my glasses on. I can't see. And it's more important to me that you guys see my eyes than you guys see my, see, look at, and this is just little things. If I put on my glasses, November 16th and 17th, see, I can see now. But the problem is you guys should be able to see, right, the reflection off of the sunglasses or the glasses. I want you guys to be able to see my eyes when I'm talking to you. If I'm going to do the video, I certainly don't want you not to be able to see my eyes. It cracks me up when people will come and they'll do events and then they'll wear sunglasses when they're do videos and they'll wear sunglasses. Why are you going to do a video and wear sunglasses? Unless that sun is directly in your eyes. And even then, man, change positions, do a different lighting situation. The reality is people will connect to your eyes. What they won't connect to is somebody that's too cool for school, right? I don't know where my other glasses are. Anyways, I have another pair of sunglasses, right? But when you put the sunglasses on and now you're walking around and nobody can see your eyes, right? And you're just like, hey, what's up? It seems disingenuous. So if you guys are going to start marketing yourself, if you're going to start branding yourself, right? Make sure when you do videos that people can see your face. They can see your eyes. Because even as excited as I get sometimes, right? And so my eyes get really big. And it's not that I'm, on crack or anything. It's I get excited. But to me, it's more important that you see the expression in my face, that you see the excitement in my eyes, that you see the genuine feeling that I have, because it's going to translate the emotion better. It's going to translate what I'm saying better. Because here's the thing, guys, and whether you know this or not, it doesn't make it not true that 30% of our communication, especially right now, right? If I put this and I take off the if I take off the camera, right? Now what you guys are going to be doing is picking up on my language, the way I talk, the pattern of my voice, the tempo, right? How fast I'm talking, how slow I'm talking, if I'm talking really high or if I'm talking really low, right? If my voice is melodic or if it's real choppy and it's hard to understand, it cracks me up when people are like, "Well, I want to do radio," and you go, "Okay, well, and they're talking to you, and when they're talking to you, it's I want to do radio, and they're just real harsh with the way they talk, and it's like, man, nobody's gonna want to listen. I don't even want to listen to you after listening to you for a minute. You've got to, when you guys want to start building rapport with people, when you want to start connecting with people, and here, let's turn this back on. When you want to start connecting with people, you guys have to start realizing that it's going to be in the way you talk. If you want to connect with somebody better, not mimic, model the way they talk. If they use a word and they go, "Oh my God, that's awesome," right? When you're talking about what you're doing, listen to what I'm saying. When you're talking about what you're doing, you're just like, "Oh, well, we found this awesome property." What does that mean to the individual who just used the word awesome? One, they're going to think, "Oh man, they're just like me. We use the same words," right? But two, it works as a metaphor. Immediately, they know the passion and the intent behind the word that you just used. Think about the power in that. When you ask them, "Well, what kind of deals are you looking for?" What kind of deals are you looking for, right? And they go, "Well, I want great deals. I want, amazing smoking deals." All right, cool. I've got these extraordinary deals over here. What do they hear? I found this okay, well, that's not the same kind of deal. It could be even better than the one. But you didn't use the word smoking. You didn't use the word hot. You didn't use the words that I was using. Therefore, I don't think you understand what I'm talking about. I don't think you understand who I am. Think about what I'm telling you right now. How many times, how many of you are going after potential customers, investors? You're trying to get money to come in on a deal. And if you start using the same wording that they use, you're going to start to build rapport faster. And when he says, "I want a hot deal," and you go, "Oh man, I have got a hot deal," instantly, man, I've got it. I'm with you. Show me it, right? Now I'm thinking it's hot. But when you say, "Hey man, I got a smoking deal," and I said, "I want a hot deal," it's not necessarily the same. And I might not react the same way, not the way that you want me to, right? Does that make sense? All right. I know I'm drinking a lot of water. Oh, Abel, I'm sorry. Let me jump right back down here. Let's see here. For sure, I don't. I'm. Sorry, I don't know why I can't talk right now. When I'm looking at you guys, realize that I'm not going to be looking down to the questions that often because, again, I'm more interested in connecting with you. But I will every once in a while. I will jaunt down. Also realize that I have no clock anywhere around, so I have no clue what time it is, and I'm going to go until I feel like I'm done. I had a lot of amazing things happen to me this weekend, and I just want to share it. But I will answer, Abel. The radio station is AM 1510 in Inland Empire and Orange County, California. And then it's also on AM 1450, which is San Diego County. All right. But you can go on. So we're on the radio 5 days a week, right? Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, we are on from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And then on Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're on from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. All right. Wednesdays is the only live show that we do right now. However, we're actually working out something right now, and by the end of November, or at least by the end of this year, we will be on 5 days a week with probably 5 live shows, or at least 3 live shows with 2 semi-live shows. because I just want to do more. I want to provide more resources. And I know that when we do the radio show, there's a lot of people that you guys normally wouldn't be able to get access to that are willing to come on and do a radio show because for them it's, hey, I get some publicity. Well, if I were to talk to them and say, hey, you want to come on and do a webinar with me, they may not know who I am as much. The radio show, they are definitely going to be down on. It's on Bloomberg Radio. So they know that that's finance, that's financial radio, it's talk radio. It's definitely the place they want to be being heard on. And we're really growing our brand, Investing Coast to Coast, with Pete and Ivan. It's absolutely growing. We're getting new followers every day. We're up to, I think, 3,000 downloads now a month on that show, which is, I can't even tell you how amazing that is for me. But it shows too that we're doing it right, because the goal of that show is to be. It's kind of like my whole point of me being on that show is to provide a resource where I act like you, where I'm going to ask your questions. I'll pretend I'll ask the dumb questions, right? And I'm not saying that your questions are dumb, but we all have those questions sometimes, right? Where we're afraid to ask them because we're like, oh man, if I ask that, then they're going to think I'm stupid. If I ask that, they're going to think I don't really know what I'm talking about. I say I'm in real estate, but now I'm asking, well, what's an ROI? Or I'm asking, well, what's a cap rate? Or what's this? Or what's that? And the reality is sometimes on the East Coast, terms are different than on the West Coast and the Midwest. We all have our different ways of talking, of speaking, terminology that we use, shortcuts, right? And so I want to help bridge that gap for everybody. The thing is I know that we're getting a pretty decent following here in California, but I also want it all over the country. We're on the internet. There's no reason that everybody can't tune in to our show on the internet, just like you would tune in on your dial. I can go and tune into it on my phone and listen to it on my phone just off the link. Just by clicking on the link on Facebook, I'll just hit the link and listen to it live. I've done that in the car 3 or 4 times because I've been out in LA or I've been up in a different state. I mean, I was up in Portland last month in Seattle, and I was listening to the show when I was up there through the link on my phone. You guys think that, well, I'm driving, I don't have access to listen to some of the resources that you guys have. Look, you can go on your phone and click any of those MP3 files on our sites, right? Here, I'll show you. If you guys go and you were to go onto your phone, right? Which, oh, hello. Hold on. Before everybody tries, look at that. I love that part. Okay. If we go on and we go to Safari. Oh, good. I'm already on C2C. REI.com. I press go. It's going to take me to California. Hold on. It's going to take a little bit of time because we're running this video right now, so that's taking up a little bit of space. What am I saying to do? What was I saying we could do? We could go to the website. What was I just saying that we were going to do? I'm sorry. MP3. Thank you. So I could go to, right, the podcast, right? And let's say, okay, I wanted to listen to Investing Coast to Coast. I want to catch up on the radio show. You can do that right here on it. Look at, press play. Long. And now, Investing Coast to Coast with Pete Asmus and Ivan O'Brien. It's that easy. I put them right on here. The other thing that I've done for you guys is I've also put the transcription. The entire transcription is on here. So let's say you're listening to any of our radio shows, or I'm trying to get, golly. Okay. I'm getting all of our podcasts and everything transcribed for you guys. So let's say that you guys are listening to something in the car while you're driving. You're like, oh man, what was that number? What was this? What was that? You can actually go right back to the website when you have time, go down, go to the transcription, click on the phone number, click on the website, whatever it is that you wanted to do. The whole point of what we're doing is to provide you with an amazing hub. A place, a hub of information that you guys can come to get access and just take and go wherever you want, right? To just blow, I want to say blow apart, but that doesn't really make sense, but blow up, right? Just take it to the next level, to take you to the next level of you, all right? Now, that's going to require belief. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. I think that was number 28, right? Belief is important because if you don't believe that you can do what you want to do, what you think you can do, what you're going after, you're never going to accomplish it. In fact, you're really not even going to try. And here's the, oh my gosh, you're really not going to even attempt it, right? And the reason is, and I use the word try there because that's really what you're doing. When you're not going to try. Try means, well, I'm going to walk towards that, right? And if by some great windfall it happens, then hey, brilliant. But if not, you and I both know I said try, it's probably not going to happen. So when people say try, when they use that word with themselves, even what they're really telling themselves is we're gonna kind of give it an attempt, but at the end of the day, we probably know this isn't gonna happen. So I'm not gonna give it everything. And that's where you fail. Because success doesn't come off of 80%. Success comes off of 120. It comes off of doing the impossible. Every single successful person that I've talked to said at one point in their career, they couldn't believe what was happening because it didn't seem possible. What was happening shouldn't have been happening. But because what they wanted it so bad, they forced it into reality, which is the book, right? That's what we're talking about. I wrote the book to do the webinar. I mean, I literally wrote the book on what we're doing. And I did a webinar through it because what I wanted you guys to be able to do was connect better to the book. The idea was if I give you a book that's 40 pages and it's basically a shorthand manual, right? And it's just a bunch of to-dos, then that's great. And you're going to read it. And then if you're really inspired, it's going to drive you. If you're really want to be inspired, right? It's going to motivate you for a shorter period of time. So I figured, hey, if we do these webinars, we can back up the book. Now I've got a way to interact even better, right? Now we have video. You guys can see me. You can see the passion behind what I'm saying. You can see what my facial expressions are. You can see if I'm joking or if I'm serious. You can really understand to a better level about what we're talking about, right? So we took it to that level because I wanted you guys to be able to connect. Realize that every single chapter that we do is an hour to an hour and a half. It takes you 2 minutes to read the chapter. It takes me an hour and a half to basically disseminate what I was trying to say. Oh my gosh, what I was saying. All right. You have to realize it wasn't until I wrote a book, I realized how important books are. Because with a book, you're not going to get fluff. With a book, you don't get with a book, you don't get well. With a book, you don't get all these little, like I'm doing right now, right? Air words or filler words. Because when you write a book, you write exactly what you want to say and you say it as eloquently and as perfectly as possible to deliver your point in the shortest possible words. Does that make sense? So every A, it's all in there for a reason. And then I did things that would drive an editor crazy where I capped words or I capped the first letter of a word and it shouldn't have been. But to me, it was about emotion. And the one thing that if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know for a fact that I don't follow the rules. I mean, I was the only person at the REI Expo wearing flip-flops that was speaking, that got up in front and spoke in flip-flops and a t-shirt and jeans. Why? Not a t-shirt, a button-up shirt. Why? Because that's how I invest. And for me, if it's comfortable enough for me to invest and make money like that, why isn't it comfortable enough and good enough for me to teach you in that? Why isn't it okay for me to dress how I want? Why do I have to pretend to be something else? To me, that's bullshit. I'm not going to pretend to be something else. I'm not going to put on a suit and get up in front of you and do this whole thing like I've done for 8 years because it wasn't me. And for me, if you're going to like me, you're going to like me for me. You're going to want to be around me because I'm just awesome for the way I am, because I care about you, not because I'm wearing a $3,000 suit. If I have to wear a suit to go somewhere, great. But I'm not going to do that anymore. I made up my mind that I am who I am. And I've got tattoos. And if you don't like that, hey, I don't care about that either. Because to me, I love who I am. Now, how many of you love who you are? Now, what I'm not saying what I don't do is I don't go into a business meeting though. If I'm going to go in and negotiate a $1 million deal on a property, I'm not saying I roll in flip flops and jeans and like I don't care, right? If it's a different situation, if I'm going into a bank to meet a manager, we're doing a business proposal, I'm going to dress better. I'm going to more dress the part for that particular situation. But man, those are going to be very, very few and far between. And here's the cool part. The more successful you become, the less you have to play that game, right? Because when you start owning all the chips, it doesn't matter what you wear. And when you can realize that, now the thing is though, doesn't mean you go and dress like a bum to prove a point that, hey, I can look however I want and make money, because you've got to realize that 80% of the population doesn't think that way. So you have to build your brand before you can go and do whatever. Also, I've got Ivan. And even though in that picture, he's not dressed nice, right? He's not dressed up in his suit. Every other time, he is always in a suit. This whole weekend, he was wearing a suit. Ivan loves to wear a suit, though. He likes it. He looks sharp in it. It's his thing. He's also the numbers guy, right? He does all of our numbers for us. He's the CFO. That's his deal. Everybody has to play their part. Everybody has to have a job. In your company, what's your job? And if you tell me it's jack of all trades, realize it's going to take you a lot longer to get farther, a lot longer to get where you want to get, and it's going to take a hell of a lot more energy. It would be a lot better if you jumped onto a system, or B, you got a partner, and I think that's even better. That's the yin to your yang, right? You aren't great at everything. You aren't. You are not good at you're not great at everything for sure. Why wouldn't you want to have the highest level? Look, you don't want to put a bunch of yes men around you. You don't want to put a bunch of people around you that are worse at what they do. You always want to aim at being the dumbest person in the room. Because when you are at the lowest level of either intelligence or of humor or of ability, skill set, whatever, it means that everybody else around you is bringing you up. If you're at the top of that everywhere you go, it means all you're doing is pulling people up. Now, I don't mind pulling people up, but let me tell you one thing. I know that I'm not the best at everything. I'm very good at connecting, at networking, at coming up with ideas in marketing, right? Strategy building. But there are definitely places that I'm very weak in when it comes to follow through, to implementing certain tasks, right? I have got ADD like you would not believe. So, for me, it's like, do, and then it's like, oh, there's a shiny object over there, right? Unless it's something that I really care about. Unless it's something that I'm passionate about. And then I will sit there and put 3 hours into boring work where even Ivan's like, man, I have no idea why you are even doing that. And I'm moving this a little bit over there and this a little bit over there. I had so many different fonts that I tried with this. I put the TM in too many different places. The empowering part at the top, it was so many different words and things that other people didn't care about, but I did. And now our tagline for the radio show is empowering real estate radio. Creating resources that give you a better choice. Or man, I'm sorry, now I can't even think about it. And I could look it up, but I'm not going to right now. So the point is, there are things that you're going to care about, and you've got to make sure that those passions lie within your business, right? Don't be going after this thing, and then you've got all these passions like I'm talking about, where I'm willing to stay up till 3:00 in the morning to do something. You're willing to do that, but it's for, kite flying. Because if that's what it's about, then you need to go out and become a professional kite flyer, because that's where your passion is. You have to figure out, where is your passion? What is that going to drive in you? And do you believe in you? How much do you believe in you? When you look in the mirror, guys, do you think that you can do anything that you want? Now, I know the answer is no, okay? And I would even say to some degree, it's no to me as well, right? I can't go out and buy 5G5 planes right now. I mean, that's not a feasible thing for me. Now it's funny because when I say that, I immediately go into when I say that's not a feasible thing for me, my brain immediately goes to, well, how could it be? In what situation would that be a feasible thing? And then I go, well, I guess if I had to work a deal and I knew somebody that needed 10 jets or 30 jets, and if I worked out some kind of plan that would allow me to have 10 of them, and I could create some kind of situation that it would make sense. Somebody wanted to buy jets and they were going to create a taxi service, and they had all kinds of people that were willing to pay for it. They had pre-booked flights. I also have people that I know that have a ton of money. I could show them that business plan. I could work my way into that. So I guess if I had to and the situation were right, I could go pull the trigger on 10 G5 jets. But in the current reality in which I live, that's not a feasible task for me, right? Or option for me right now. So what I don't want you to do is when you're thinking about things, shoot so far over the moon and then try and believe that it could happen, right? That's not what I mean. I mean, pick realistic goals. Now, Ivan's going to argue with me on this because he goes, well, no, you pick 10 times goals. Make your goals 10 times bigger and you give them 10 times more effort, and that's how you reach it. Yes. At the same time, if you put out goals where I want to be a billionaire in a month, look, we can all hit the pipe too, right? And we can all pretend like that's going to happen, but it's not. So your goals have to be in this realm of reality, all right? If your goal would be, let's say you will go, okay, Pete, well, I want to make money. I need to make money. Before the end of the year, that's 60 days, right? Or almost 60 days. I want to make $5,000. Okay. That's a legitimate goal. Now, let's say you go, well, I want to 10 times that. I want to make 50,000. Okay. I'm still going to say that is an okay. Whoa, I don't know what just happened there. Can everybody still hear me? I'm being recorded, right? I'm going to say that's okay. However, I'm not okay. I'm sorry that I just had something come on my screen and whoa, and it made it look like something was going to happen bad, and it froze or it went sideways on me. So I want to make sure. Let me catch back up to where I was. What was I talking about, real quick? And Mike Jensen, what do you mean by what rules? I don't know what you were asking that to. But real quick, where was I at? What was I talking about? I know I was talking about belief, right? And you're going to find that out about me, guys. I get really deep into what I'm thinking. And so sometimes you're going to have to bring me back on track because something will happen and I'll get sideways. But realize that to me, that's something awesome for you guys. The fact that I lose myself in what I'm saying with you means that I'm trying to give you every ounce of idea, every ounce of knowledge that I have. I'm trying to dig down and give you everything to take you to the next level. So please don't get frustrated if I get off track. It's not for any other reason than I'm trying to give you more than you could possibly expect. All right. Okay. So nobody got me back on track to where I was. All right. Well, then let's just go ahead and go somewhere else real quick. Let's go through this. Guys, every week, passion, we were at belief. Last week, we talked about values, right? And this week, we're going to be talking about strategy, okay? One of my favorite things to talk about, strategies, because look, the strategy is how you accomplish anything, okay? So I also think it's pretty cool. I want to welcome all 65 people that are on here tonight. I wish I would have had been videoing the time I had 89 because I thought that was awesome. For me, guys, if you could do anything to help me, I would appreciate you guys helping by promoting this event, by promoting Journey to Success. I want to have it to where I have 200 people on this call, where I have to get my own webinar service or my own server so that I could run my own webinars so that I can have 200 to 300 people on this call every single night. I'm sorry, whoa, every single Sunday, not every single night, every single Sunday night. I talked to you guys about this earlier in the night. I said, I'm willing to be on here every Sunday at 6 p.m. for an hour and a half. I'm willing to dedicate that time to you guys. There's a lot of people in my life that know me, that know, man, they try to call me. I barely talk on the phone. I work a lot better through text because my life is crazy. And my kids are yelling or they're laughing or they're crying or whatever. And I always want to be able to work with people. If you guys saw me at the REI Expo, my family was there. Saturday, we had a babysitter, but Sunday, today, all my kids were there. My family goes everywhere with me. Family is extremely important because, again, it's about I wanted to create a scenario that I could have my family around me. My son at the age of 5 got cancer, brain cancer, medulloblastoma. And it was one of the hardest things that I've ever gone through in my life. And I mean, I thought I was going to lose him. He was in a class of 40 kids where they did an experimental treatment to try and figure out how much chemo to give these kids. I mean, they're 5 years old and you're pumping poison into their body. And so, I mean, without trying to get like really emotional, I have pictures of roommates of his that passed away. He went through 3 roommates while he was in treatment. He was one of 2 kids that actually survived in that class of 40. And so to me, he showed me that, man, one, life is short. Anything can happen at any time. 2, if you're not prepared, you can't dedicate more time to somebody that's not going to be here. In fact, it's exactly opposite. I had to give up more time to be able to afford the medicine, the gas, everything for his mom to take him back and forth. I realized that I never wanted that to happen again. And so I wanted to create a lifestyle where my family lived with me. My family could go to work with me. My family would be around me all the time. I didn't have to be away from them. I didn't have to be distant from them. And so that's what I created. I created a lifestyle. I created a company that Madison will tell you, she goes to the radio station with me every week. No matter when, she goes with me. She sits there, she's quiet, she learns. They all know the days of the week. If you guys have jumped on my YouTube videos, this was the first time, man. It was weird. I was at I must have been approached by like 15 people that I didn't know. I mean, I had never met before. And they said, man, we watch your YouTube videos. We think they're awesome. They came up to Madison, to Haley, and it was just so weird because to me, they're my kids. They're just, everything is just normal. And to see other people that were blown away by their ability to what we're teaching them, what they're learning, their process, they're being involved. That was by design. Them being involved in my life was by design. And the most amazing part is because I'm a motivational speaker, because I'm about empowering other people's lives, and because they're entrenched in my life, they're learning it no matter what. I mean, whether they want to or not, they're learning. Haley runs around and tells people when they say the word can't, that I would make them snap their wrist. We had a parent-teacher conference, and Mrs. Parmenter, Haley's teacher, said that she was dying laughing because in class, one of the little boys said, well, I can't do that. And Haley said, you can't say can't. My daddy would make you snap your wristband if he heard you say that. And that's amazing. That's amazing for a 5-year-old to say that. Not when I'm there, but when she's not around me. That shows you the power of what we're doing. And why would you not want to be a part of that? I say this all the time. I say this all the time. I've said this in the past, that if you got all of your friends involved in the Go Make Something Happen movement, right? If you got them all playing the game, and you saw me, I had to snap my wristband 3 times tonight. And I started this thing. I mean, I do all this stuff that I come up with is as much for me as it is for you. I'm as bad at all of this stuff. The reason I do Journey to Success every week more than anything is because I need it. It's because I get distracted. It's because I need to set my goals for the week. All these little things that I say, make it happen Monday, take back Tuesday, take back your life, wake up Wednesday, wake up and live your life. They're all for me too, as much as they are for you. Because I know that when they're in the front of my head, right? When I'm constantly thinking of them, when I'm wearing my wristband and I'm looking and it says go make something happen, right? Hold on, look at this. When I'm driving my car and I'm looking at yeah, there we go. I'm looking at the go make something happen. Man, there's nothing I can do, but how do I not go and make something happen? How do you not take action? For me, that's how I feel. It's the more stuff is in front of me when I wanted to when I wanted to get back in shape, right? About 10, 15 years ago, I was a trainer, and when my son got cancer, I was a trainer. But I was a personal trainer. I help people get big or get in shape. I'm sorry. And for me, I had been skinny like my whole life, right? I was 130 pounds when I graduated high school. I mean, picked on. That's what made me come up with, I turned to humor, right? To get people to laugh because then they'd like me. And I figured, hey, if they like me, then everything's great, right? I became really good at making fun of myself, laughing at myself because again, if they were laughing, then cool. Nobody was beating me up. And when I started working out in the gym and I got a job there, and it wasn't intentional, got a job there because it was an opportunity at the time as an assistant manager, became a manager, but I was in there all the time and I started working out all the time. And I got to like 220 at 8% body fat. I mean, I was ridiculous. It was crazy. I was big. And it was something that, man, I felt so amazing to be like that. And then I ended up getting into a different field and making more money, right? Not working out, eating the same amount. There goes 220 to 260, 8% to 35% body fat, right? Weight, right? I went from a 32-inch waist or 33-inch waist to a 44-inch waist. And when I really kind of got fed up with it at one point in my life, I was like, man, I got to go and start working at a gym again. And I actually got a job at a gym again to lose weight because it was like, I've got to submerge myself in that in order to make it happen. Then, as time went on and I got into real estate, right? That was the second time. Then my son got cancer and I realized, okay, this isn't going to work. And so I started fighting harder for real estate and started making that happen and started focusing on that aspect. And that's what brought me to the level of it's all about mindset. Look, we can make as many excuses as we want. Well, I can't do it for this reason. I couldn't lose weight because I wasn't working at the gym. I can't do this because of this. I can't do that because of that. You know what? You can't do stuff because you can't do stuff because you're telling yourself you can't do stuff. It's bullshit. You can do whatever you want. The only things you can't do is what you stop yourself from doing. It's what you are telling yourself I can't do. If you didn't know how to do something and you never tried anything new from the age of whatever, 1, 2 on, you wouldn't do anything right now. You'd be sitting in a crib getting fed with a bottle. Do you see what I'm saying? You're never experienced or good at anything until you've done it over and over and over. That takes practice. That takes consistency. So when you start something and you go, oh, it's not working right. Well, no, it's not working right because you don't know what you're doing yet. And you're going to have to keep doing it over and over and over again. And then it's going to start to snap into place. All right. Now, one of the things that we wanted to help you with was taking action. So we've got wristbands. We've got the stickers, right? We also have these keychains. They go on your keys, obviously. Which is what a keychain does, right? We've got the bigger stickers. Well, and you can see it on the car as well. It's about keeping it in front of you. If you go to gomakesomethinghappen.com, you can order any of these things. Here's the thing. I will give you a wristband if you don't have one. If you can't afford $3 for a wristband, let me know. I'll send you one. I'm not going to give you, the stickers and everything else. That stuff costs more. But the wristbands, hey, I don't mind. Because for me, if I can give you a wristband and get you to start taking action and believing in you, then that's what it's all about. All right. Now, with that said, before we jump into our next aspect, and talking about what our strategies are and how that impacts us, I want to ask you guys real quick. When you guys are going through your week, what kind of positive influence stuff are you listening to? Are you guys looking at this week, at this class, at this one webinar and going, that's all I need for the week? Are you listening to something every single day? How many times are you writing down your goals? I write down my goals. It's in my, I don't have that book either. Everything, it's in here. All right, well, I don't want to grab it right now. Oh, there we go again. See? How many times are you writing down your goals? You should be writing down your goals when you get up in the morning and before you go to bed before you go to bed at night. You guys need to start realizing that when you keep things in the front of your head, when you keep things at the forefront of your mind, they will happen. They will become reality. That's why we have the whole dream boards. Because when you're constantly looking at something, it's going to bring that attraction into existence. Because you're constantly looking for ways to connect those dots. You're constantly looking for ways to take advantage of that opportunity. When we were looking at ways to advertise for the radio, right? To get other people advertising. When we started thinking about it all the time, we started running into people and we're like, oh, well, have you thought about advertising on the radio? One guy today, yeah, I spend $3,000 a month. This would definitely be something that we would be interested in. Amazing. I mean, here's the thing. If you're not thinking about it, you're not talking about it. And if you're not talking about it, you're not marketing it. And if you're not marketing it, nobody knows about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've got to be taking action. You've got to be thinking about it. So you need to go on, and you have to go on, and you must go on to GoMakeSomethingHappen.com and get a wristband. Go get one right now. All of you can still do it no matter what. Even if you're watching me, you can go on and get a wristband, order it. Get a sticker if you want. Get a keychain. Hey, if you get 3 of the items, I'll give you the 4th one. Again, we're not getting rich off this. All we're trying to do is get this out. Get this whole movement out. And I know if I grow it through grassroots, if I grow it through you guys, if you guys share it with your friends and your friends share it, right? If we grow this like that, nobody can stop us. So it's not about me trying to buy anything. It's about us offering and giving away the concept and the idea that you are worth more than what you think you are. That you just have to go make something happen. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be broad. It doesn't have to be great. It can be small. It's the butterfly effect. You do one little thing over here, right? One little thing over here, and it goes all the way over. That a butterfly's wings can cause a tsunami or something on the other side of the world. All right. So what kind of thing are you going to affect right now? What are you going to do right now that's going to affect your trajectory, your future, and cause the butterfly effect, right? And again, I am so sorry. I know I'm drinking a ton of water, but I have been talking so much this week. Shannon was telling me, like, how are you going to do Journey to Success next week and then go into an expo, right? So usually by the end of this call, I'll know when it's almost an hour and a half because my voice will start shooting out and it'll start getting sore. And then I know that I'm right at about 90 minutes. We're probably at right about an hour right now, I would guess. I'm not sure, but I would say that that's probably close to where we're at this point. All right, let me check and see if we have any buddy doing any questions real quick. Does anybody have any questions at all? Okay, you guys couldn't hear me, but we're back, so that's good. Blast it out on Facebook and LinkedIn since it will reach additional contacts. Yes, you can blast this call out. Please, man, treat this thing as your own. Like, take this to your friends and say, look, I want you to go on. I want you to listen to Journey to Success. I want you to start playing this game with me. I want you to get involved. Listen to it. Spread it. Share it. I don't care who you share it with. Act like it's your webinar. That's fine too. But the point is let's get this. I'm looking over here. See, that's what I do when I don't know you guys are looking at me, right? When I don't have the thing on, I'm like looking over here and I'm focused and I'm just daydreaming and I'm acting like I'm looking at the green light that tells me that, hey, you guys are here and I can see you and I can talk to you, right? And I think this is cool too. Do you guys like this a lot better, being able to see me? This will be the privilege of people being on Sunday nights at 6 o'clock. You guys will actually be able to interact with me live and you'll be able to see me. Is that better? Is that something that you guys like a lot better than the way we were doing it? Obviously, if you're listening on the podcast, that's okay. If you guys are watching this right now on our website, right? If you look right down there, you're going to see our transcriptions. See them? I can see them right now. I can even see what I'm saying. See, it's weird, right? As I say things, it just keeps moving. So I want you guys to realize that everything that we're doing and understand everything that we're putting together is all to bring better resources for you guys to make better choices, right? We're providing the resources so you can make better choices. That's it. Empowering Real Estate Radio, providing the resources so you can make better choices. Because that's at the end of the day what we're doing. Look, the more information I supply you with, the more resources I give you, the better choices you can make. Because you're going to have more things as options, right? If we give you a hammer and a saw and say, go build the house, might take you a little while. It also might not look so great. But if I give you every tool under the sun and I say, go build a house, man, it's going to be easier. It's going to be faster. It's going to be more efficient and it's going to be more profitable. Isn't that what you guys really want about your whole life? For your life to be more efficient, for your life to be more powerful, for your life to be more effective. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're in college like Eric, right? And it doesn't matter if you're up in Seattle like Jose. It doesn't matter if you're in Miami like Liz, or if you're in Detroit like John, right? Wherever you are, it's all the same. We need to take action. We need to have people around us with a positive mindset because we become who we are around. Look, if I put you around a whole bunch of people that were all pissed off and they did a research study. Do this. Next time you guys are in a line at a bank, right? Next time you're in a line at a bank, I want you guys to just stand in line, okay? Wait till, as long as there's 3 or 4 people in line, assess the mood, okay? Right? Just check out how everybody's doing. And then what I want you to do is start tapping your foot and start looking at your watch and watch what happens. Everybody in line will start freaking out. Everybody's going to start doing that. You will instantly cause like anxiety in that place. You can stir that emotion up. Do you realize what I'm saying? You can stir that emotion up in other people. You can do bad. You can do good. If you can stir up that kind of emotion, you can also stir up emotions that are positive, that are empowering. So why not, instead of tapping your foot and looking at your watch, why don't you bring people a cup of tea and put on mellow music, right? Why don't we get them involved with what we're doing to empower their life, to bring it up, to raise up the standards of life? Let's talk about it, right? Like we always do. It's all about stepping out of your life. Step out of your current situation. Step out of the way you live your life right now. Step up. It's time to step up your commitment to what you're going to do for you. It's time to step up the energy and the effort that you're putting into your life, that you are putting into your life. It's time to step up the expectations that you have. Because look, you're living up to your expectations. So if you're happy where your life is, then hey, I don't know why you're on this call. But if you're not, then you need to realize that the reason you are where you are right now is because of you, nobody else. And I hate pointing at people. I hate it because I hate being pointed at. But I'm going to point at you for that one specific statement that you are where you are because of you, nobody else. So if you don't like where you are, hey, it's that easy. Stand up. Stand up. Get up. Step up. Step up your commitment. Step up what you expect. Step up what you value you at. And then, man, the next part's cool. Because the next part you get to step into the life that you just designed, the life that you just created, right? You get to step into everything that you worked for. And let me tell you, nobody can take away what you earned. And I don't mean physical, I don't mean computers or this or that. I mean the respect. I mean the power. And not power in a weird way, right? Not like I am Superman or, hey, with great power comes great responsibility. I'm not saying you're going to start slinging webs, right? But what I am saying is you're going to start feeling amazing. We were talking about that this weekend, right? That they say, people, well, when he got a bunch of money, he became, a jerk, right? He became a blank hole, right? We say it all the time. But what does that really mean? Let me explain this. When people don't have money, right? They need other people, which means they're willing to change who they are in order to get it. You hear it all. I mean, never mind. That would have been a bad joke. But, right? People going to Hollywood. I needed more money. Okay. People will do things that they normally wouldn't do when they need money. Right? Well, if you go to the other side of that coin, when people that have been crapped on, put down, disregarded, punched in the face their entire life make it, what do you think's going to happen, right? Do you think that they're going to continue to bow down to all these people that have been jerks to them their entire life? Hell no, because they don't need those people now, right? At least not in their heads. And they're at a spot where they're going to go, I can now be who I want. That I can kind of understand. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you right now, when you have money, you are going to be however you want to be because you now have money, which means when you're doing something, if you don't like somebody, you're going to go, oh, you know what? I don't need to hang around them anymore. People say, well, they changed because they had money. Yes, they finally got to be who they wanted to be. Now, there are assholes out there, and that's just a bottom line fact. So, yeah, some people are going to make money and they're going to become assholes. But there's also people that are going to make money and they're going to become philanthropists. There are people that are going to make money and they're going to give back. It's all on what you focus on. Look, if you want to have a shitty day, that's not a problem. All I want you to do right now, real quick, is I want you to think back on your day. First of all, what happened this morning that completely sucked, that you really wish wouldn't have happened? Can you guys think of one thing that you wished wouldn't have happened this morning? All right. What about 2 hours later? Anything happened 2 hours later that, man, could have done without that? Okay. Anything else? What about 4 hours later than that? What about at 3 o'clock? How do you feel right now? Do you feel great? Do you feel like you want to go attack the world, or do you feel like you want to go and bang your head into a wall, right? Now think about this. What happened this morning that was awesome? That you went, oh man, that's cool. What happened later on? Tell me what happened at one point today that you thought, man, that is so cool. That actually was really amazing that just happened. Here's the thing, guys. If you're playing the game for real and you're going along with me, right now, you feel amazing. You feel a lot better than you did 2 minutes ago. Because now you're focusing on the positive. If you're looking at me going, nothing happened that was amazing. All right, then again, jump off this call. There's nothing I can do for you. You already think that there's nothing anybody can do for you. I'm not going to be any different than anybody else. Okay. The only person that's going to be able to help you is you. All I can do is guide you. All I can do is give you a roadmap. All I can do is show you what to do. But let me tell you what's not happening. I'm not coming to your house to do it. I've taught real estate before, and I've told people, you can do this, but I'm not going to show up and kick you off of your couch and pick up your phone and dial it for you. That's not going to happen. You guys are going to have to get up and go make something happen. You're going to have to do something for you. When are you going to realize how important you are? When are you going to start looking in the mirror and going, I am worth more than anything else? When are you going to start saying that I am awesome? I'm awesome. I can do anything. When I look in the mirror, I think nobody can hold me back. When I'm talking to Pete, I realize that everything is within my grasp because I know that it's all within me. Everything that I need is outside my comfort zone. But everything that's required to make it happen is all right here. It's all within me. What I need to do is take away the excuses. What I need to do is take away the complaining. Complaining doesn't get me anywhere. Complaining, even though I don't like what John is doing, or even though I don't like what Sally is doing, or what Frank is wearing, or what Missy is singing, it doesn't do me any good to complain about it or to even talk about it. Why? Because then I'm doing what Pete talked about in the first example. I'm focusing on what is bad. I'm focusing on what went wrong. Now, if I look at what went right, if I focus on what I can do, if I now focus on, look, I'm looking in the mirror and I may not have everything that I need, but I have the only thing that is required. I have heart. I have a big ego, an energy giving device, right? I have a huge heart. And that means I don't give up. And if I don't give up, you can't stop me. And if you can't stop me, nothing is impossible. And if nothing is impossible, then I am awesome. And if I am awesome, I can do anything. And now I'm ready to fly, right? That's how this works. When are you going to start saying that mantra? When are you going to start saying, I can do anything. I'm valuable, I'm worthwhile, and I come up with solutions and strategies that other people want and find valuable? When are you going to start saying strategies and mantras and things that empower you instead of tear you down? How many times have you repeated, I can't do something. I'm not good enough. I'm not great enough. That's not me. That's that kind of person, right? Well, Pete can do it because it's Pete. Pete can do it because Pete said he can do it. That's the only reason Pete can do it. Pete has this banner because Pete made the banner, not because somebody else said, hey, I'd love to make a banner for you, but I had to build the brand. Nobody says things until you do. Let me rephrase that. Nobody says things until you do. Nobody started saying, go make something happen until I made it have value. Does that make sense? Nobody is going to find value in something unless you find value in that same thing. You know that I find value and go, I mean, you can't hear me. I've got it. Look, I've got it tattooed on my arm. All right. If that's not dedication, I don't know what is. And then, that's not it. I don't know if you can see this one, but that right there is let me see if I can. Whoa. Right there is our lantern, right? And the concept behind that, the lantern, is the fact that we want to shine. I want to shine a light for all of you, showing you where to go, what to watch out for, what to be leery of. All right. And the whole concept, and then that even goes up to, if you can see that right there, is, oh man, is our, okay, I don't even know what I'm doing right now, but I'm trying. My gosh. All right. I'm doing everything I can. That's a compass. And for me, the compass it's all about direction, right? Providing the right direction. So we've got light, we've got a direction. I've got a microphone so that I can be heard, although I don't think I really need that. And then we've got go make something happen. This whole thing is about motivation for you. This whole thing is about motivation for me. It's all about us. It's like I tell you guys, I mean, I'm going to get eyes tattooed on the back of my neck because I keep telling you, I'm walking up this hill backwards. I'm walking up the hill backwards so that I can guide you guys with me, so that you guys end up on the top of the hill with me. I don't want to be up there alone. It's no fun. Look, I'm definitely a party animal, right? I may not drink a bunch, but I love to have fun. I love to make people laugh. And if I could do anything, I would love to be on stage in front of 2,000 people up there, inspiring, making you laugh, and making you have an amazing time. That is my goal. My goal is to be within the next year to be speaking in front of 2,000 people in order. That's what I want to do. I want to speak in front of 2,000 people. So I know that there's things that I have to do to get there. How am I going to speak in front of 2,000? I don't know, but I'm not worried about that part. I'm just worried about what kind of message do I want to give? What is the why? Why do I want to speak in front of 2,000 people? Because when I answer my why, that everything else will come into place. My why is to impact others at a high level, at a level that they've never seen. That's my why. That's why I want to do it. Why do you want to do things? Is it for you? Is it for other people? What kind of motivation is bringing you forward, right? All right. So we talked in depth pretty much, right, about the start. Okay. It's all about you. All right. Getting outside of your comfort zone. We've talked about passion. We've talked about belief, and we've talked about values. And I wanted to kind of recapture each one of those little bits with me live, with you guys being able to see my face so you could see what I was going through. Because again, we haven't had video for so long. Okay. Now we're going to get into the strategy aspect. All right. So let's see. Here we go. Have you started the gold programs? I guess we'll talk about that real quick too. We have a gold program. If you guys haven't done this, get on it quick. c2crea.com/goals. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a 2-week program. You get emails, videos, all of that stuff. The idea behind it was, I know you need motivation every day. So this gold program was designed that, look, you could repeat the 2 weeks every 2 weeks. We're also going to build a 90-day program that will be a little bit later. It's going to take a lot more work for me to design it. And since I'm not doing it for money at this point, then it just doesn't make sense for me to put that much energy into that strategy or that project right now, right? But we do have the 2-week one up and going. All right. So the other thing I would like you guys to do is send me your goals. All right. And you don't have to send it to Pete A. You can just send it to Pete at c2creia.com. Send me what you're going to do this week to move towards your goals, right? I don't want your big goal. I want just what you're planning to do this week to get to your 8-week goal. All right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, 8-week goal, go back to number 27 on Journey to Success and catch up. All right. That's not a problem though. All right. So what you're going to be doing this week. All right. Well, we've already talked about these 4 deals. Okay. We've talked about belief, values, and strategy. I'm sorry, belief, value, and golly, man. Passion, belief, and values. And now we're going to talk about strategy. So, 1, when we talk about strategy, it's important that you have the right strategy for what you're attempting to go after, right? Tony Robbins says, if you're trying to chase down a sunset, right, and you're running east, you've definitely got the wrong strategy. You can have as much passion as you want, but you're never going to run into the sunset, right? It's absolutely the wrong strategy. So what I want to have you guys realize is that your strategies need to be flexible, okay? Your goal needs to be solid. It needs to be firm. The strategy needs to be flexible to be able to move with whatever you're going after. But make sure that your strategy is going in the right direction. If you want to make, say, $500,000 by the end of this year in a 12-month time span, and you go, I'm going to make 500 grand off of wholesaling deals at $1,000 a piece. That might be a tough challenge, right? You're going to have to do 500 deals, right? 500,000, 500 deals, 500,000. Yes. So that might be a little rougher than you could imagine. All right. However, if you went, I want to make 500 grand off of flipping properties with an average return of 100 grand. Well, now we're talking about in 12 months, you want to flip 5 properties that have an average of $100,000 profit in them. That's feasible, right? So you got to make sure that whatever strategy that you're utilizing to reach your goal is the right one. Okay. If you wanted to do flips, if you needed a bunch of money right now, let's say you needed cash now, right? You have no money, you need money right now. And then you go, I'm going to learn how to do cash flow. Again, not the right strategy for what your needs are right now. So the first thing you need to do before picking a strategy to achieve your goals, whether it be in real estate or anything else, is you have to determine what are your needs so that you can accomplish them, right? We got to determine what our needs are, what our goal is, so we can determine the right strategy to go after that. Next, your support system gives you opportunities. A lot of times people don't look at their support system. They don't look at what is right around them, right? You've heard this saying, man, you were staring at it the whole time, right? It was right in front of you. It would have bit you. When the whole romantic movie, right? The guy, you know the story, the girl is kind of ugly and the guy's hot, right? And so he doesn't think she's hot. And so he's going after another girl. And then all of a sudden she does her makeup and now she's hot and da 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 da, right? It's the same thing. Okay. So realize that, I don't know how that was the same thing. Your support strategy gives you your support staff, your support system gives you opportunities. If you are around your mentors all the time, if you're around positive people, if you're around people that are in real estate or in oil or in stock markets or in gold or whatever it is that you guys are going after, right? If you're around those people all the time, there's no way that you're not going to get opportunities. I mean, Benji has gotten so many opportunities just off of being by us. You know what I mean? Being in the same vicinity when things are happening, that he's been introduced to people and he's like, oh man, I do this and now I know you and you do that. And because he's with us, he's able to leverage off of our relationship. He is taking advantages of the opportunities within his support system. Does that make sense? I hope that was a really good example of what I'm talking about. So I hope that you guys cued in on that. All right. Let me check my questions real quick, just in case. Regarding our goals, do we need to start writing them 2 weeks, then 30, 60, 90, 1 year? Do goals need to be written as if they were already achieved? Okay, no. When I'm saying your goals, Brent, you want to go back and listen to number 27 and 26. I go into detail about that. On our goals, the way we're going to do that is you write what your goal is. So let's say we have 3 different goal types. We have our financial goals, all right? So if we want to make 5 grand, whatever the dollar amount is, we have our networking goal, and then we have our giving back goal, all right? And so you write down what your financial goal is, and then we have an A, B, C, and D. And these are the supporting facts that are going to help us reach our goals. So you might have I want to make 5 grand in 8 weeks, all right? And so A, which is the strategy to help you get there, that A might be, I'm going to do wholesaling or I'm going to do bird dogging, right? And I'm going to bird dog in order to make $5,000 in 8 weeks. Okay. B would be B is the resources that you're going to need to do that. So are you going to need, you're going to need a computer. You're going to need a phone. You're going to need, what do you need to actually do that? What do you need to attain in order to accomplish that goal? And then part C, I believe, is who is it that can help you reach those goals? So the names of people that will help you get to that goal. And it shouldn't just be people that you know. It should be people that you don't know as well. So let's say you want to wholesale a property and there's a guy that's a big wholesaler in your area. You don't know who I mean, you know the name, but you don't know who he is. That name's going to go down there because now one of your steps to get to your goal is going to be, okay, well, who does he know? How do I get through? How do I make connections so that I can connect to him? You're only one connection away, guys, from your next opportunity. That's it. Look, you don't have to know how to do everything. You really don't have to know how to do anything except network. Now, here's the thing. The more you know, the better choices you can make. The more information you have, the better decisions you can make, right? So I'm not saying don't be educated. That's exactly why we have our seminars, right? Our educate whatever intensives, whatever you want to call them, our boot camps. You know, you go to our ALF training, it's $3,500, but you get that back when you come in on a deal with us. The whole idea is, yeah, you need to be educated so you can say yes to deals. You know, we wanted to build a relationship with people. We wanted to build partnerships, joint ventures, because we realized some people, they're too scared to take action. Okay, so how do we help them there? Well, if you're too scared to take action, you can come in, partner up with us then. We've got more deals than we have money for, always. And, you know, find a deal that suits you. Maybe it's a flip. Sorry, maybe it's one of the holds. Maybe it's an ALF. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what your goals are of how you would fit in and work within our structure. But the idea is we wanted something for everybody. So if you want to do it all on your own, you can do that too. We want to provide resources to allow you to be you, to allow you to be able to take whatever angle, whatever journey, whatever time frame you wanted to reach your goals. It's all about you. This whole thing. When I say on the radio show, you put the why in our success, I realize when you take why and our and put them together, it's your. Without you, we don't have anything. So it's important and it's imperative that you are successful as well as us. I wanted to build a system like that. I wanted to build a company that required everybody to win for us to be successful. Because then it creates a system that everybody has an equal share in the profitability. Everybody has an equal share in the brand recognition. Everybody has an equal share in the ability to create opportunities because we're all working together towards one goal. And when you have everybody working together as one goal, you have a mob moving towards something as opposed to one or two people, right? Trying to get everybody all up and excited. Does that make sense? Um, Also, how are you guys feeling right now? Is this pretty good? I can't tell how long we've been going or anything else, but more importantly, what I want to know is this better? Do you guys enjoy the whole connecting? Do you enjoy the video more than you like just the audio? Because I don't know. I mean, maybe before you used to do stuff, so now I'm distracting as opposed to um, empowering or enabling, right? All right. So one more question, real quick, just to see if there's anything before I move. Perfect. All right, good. So next thing we're going to talk about is make your goals concrete and your strategy flexible. I talked a little bit about that before, right? Success should have goals that are concrete, like George Washington on the $1 bill. And I love that because, man, how many times, and see, I wrote that, right? That was my little metaphor. But a strategy should be as flexible as Neo in the Matrix. Now, George Washington on the $1 bill. He's been there forever. He's not going anywhere, right? And when you talk about Neo and the Matrix, remember when they were firing the gun? It was like crazy. Your strategy, think about this. You want your goal. Look, you want to make money in real estate, period. You want to be a millionaire off real estate, period. You want to be a millionaire off stocks. You want to be a millionaire off your own company. You want to be a millionaire because of being an entrepreneur. Whatever your goal is, that's what you want, period. How you get there shouldn't matter, right? Think about that. You guys will argue though. You'll say yes now, but then tomorrow when you're sweeping or doing something where you're like, man, I shouldn't be doing this, I should be doing that, you're not listening. It isn't about that. It's about working towards that goal to make it happen. All right. It's about the fact that if you wanted to own a dealership or if you wanted to own something, if you're not willing to start at the very bottom to learn what everybody does to work all the way up to the top, then what you're saying is you're too good for certain aspects of that job that you expect other people to do. And what you're really saying is that there's a lower class of human being out there that can do these jobs that you're just not really qualified to do. And that is an egotistical, horrible attitude. That's an attitude that I personally wouldn't want anything to do with. None of my partners think like that. Nobody I associate thinks like that. For us, it's all about empowering other people. I'm willing to do whatever I can to help you as long as you help yourself. I'm certainly not going to drag your ass all the way down the street and then put $1 million in your pocket. That's not happening. Now, we talk all the time like we're SEAL Team 6, right? So we're all going to be running, carrying this, or we're all going to be running, right? Carrying this pontoon boat. And if you fall, man, I will pick you up, throw you back in the top, right? And we'll keep running. But at some point, guys, I'm picking you back out and putting you back down. You've got to continue running with us. We're here to help you. We're here to pick you up when you need it. But we're not here to do the job for you. And that's what you guys have got to get out of your head with any kind of system, educational system that you take on. If you're going into it thinking that all I'm going to have to do is pay $5 grand, $2 grand, 20 grand, 80 grand, doesn't matter what it costs. All I have to do is pay that money and then I'm done. All the rest of the work is done for me. If that's what you think, man, you're again, hit the crack pipe because that's all you're going to be doing. Because that doesn't happen. That's not reality. A software program will only work as effectively as you do. It doesn't do everything else because if it did, then you aren't necessary. And if you aren't necessary, why am I going to go? Let's talk about that. What does that really mean then? That'd be like having a goose that laid a golden egg, right? If you had a software system that required zero input or anything from the user, all they have to do is go, beep, it's good to go. I can walk away and I can go and sleep. I can go and swim. I can go do whatever I want. And I'm just going to be making money, 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 money. That's a goose that lays a golden egg, right? A, those don't exist. B, if they did, I wouldn't be giving it to you. Why would you do? Nobody would do that. If you had a golden goose, literally a golden goose, and it laid golden eggs, would you give it away? Would you even give part of it away to people that you don't know at a massive level? No, because once you do that, the golden eggs start going, the pie's going to shrink. Why does it not matter if 5,000 people get this software system that is awesome, that is crazy, that can do anything, that will make you a millionaire? Why can it keep going out? Because without the user doing it, it doesn't do shit. Do you see what I'm saying? It's only you that makes it work. It's only you that makes it effective. So if you're buying into this dream that you're going to be able to sit on the couch, eat bonbons, and your life is going to be fantastic, look, unless your last name's Kardashian, that ain't happening. So stop focusing on that and wanting that to happen. It's not going to happen. Real life means you work real hard to get real results. Ooh, I like that. Real life, real hard, real results, right? Real life means you got to work real hard to get real results. I think that's pretty cool. So I got to take that. You use that and do something with it. All right. You've got to take action. You've got to be willing to be flexible. And here's the biggest key. Everybody makes a mistake. Everybody. You will make a mistake. If you haven't already, you're going to, I promise. You've already made tons of mistakes, right? We can look back on our life and go, I've made a mistake. We can go back to today and go, you've made some kind of mistake today. I know I have. So we all are going to make mistakes. So stop being afraid of making a mistake. You're going to do it. Now, you can either do it in the process of achieving your goal, or you can make mistakes in the process of achieving somebody else's goal. But let me tell you what's happening every day. Every day you go to work to build somebody's dream. Every day you go to work to build somebody's dream. Whose is it? Is it yours? Or is it somebody else's? The chances are it's somebody else's. Now, I hope it's yours. And I know I probably have 30% of the people on this call that you're going after your own dreams right now. And this is just what you need to get that kickstart, right? This is just what you need to get that push. Because sometimes we need to be told that we suck. Sometimes we've got to be slapped in the face and go, you know what? You're not trying hard enough. You're just not. You're acting like a baby. Grow up, pull up your pants, and stop crying. Nobody's going to come and save you. Only you can change your predicament. Only you can change where you are. So either you're going to get up, stand up, step up, and move out, right? Or you're going to sit there and complain. You're going to sit there in the same exact life that you have right now, and you're going to complain all about it. And guess what? It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Because the more you talk about how horrible it is, the more horrible it becomes. Because all of a sudden, think about this, you only have so much time in a day, right? There's only so much time that you're awake, period. I mean, an hour is an hour is an hour. Now, if you take 40 minutes complaining in that hour, there is only 20 minutes left to be good, to feel good, to be positive. Well, for 40 minutes, you killed yourself. Now you're going to spend what? 10 minutes trying to get back out of that. Maybe you make it out of it in time to hit your 40-minute mark again and go right back into that. When are you going to be done? When are you going to be tired of having a shitty life, of not being happy where you are, of not, and I don't mean to use these words and make them, I know they're gritty, right? But to some degree, I'm trying to slap you for them to be gritty. I'm trying to make you understand that, man, sometimes we need people telling us that life is not going to get better until you stop complaining and blaming everybody else. Until you stop looking everywhere else for the blame, until you stop saying that it's the president's fault, it's Congress's fault, it's this person's fault, it's my neighbor's fault, it's the owner of the president of the association where I live, or it's the guy down the street, or whatever. Until you stop saying that and you start saying, my life is awesome. My life is awesome because I choose what happens. And even when something doesn't go the way I wanted, doesn't matter because I am growing my brand and I learn every single day and I become better and more powerful and there's nobody that can stop me. Why? Because I am awesome. Because nobody can do what I do. Nobody. I know nobody can do what I do. Now you know nobody can do what I do too. Because you are I, right? You get what I'm saying here. We're talking about you. You're in right here. That's one of the things I love about saying, I am awesome. Because when I say I am awesome, you're repeating it in your head. You're saying it with me. If I say you are awesome, you're telling me that I'm awesome. I don't want you to do that. I know I'm awesome, right? I want you to know you're awesome. I want you guys to realize that you are the only person that can change your destiny, that you are amazing. That when you look deep inside, and man, sometimes it's hard to see. For me, it took a while. I mean, there was a point where I just wanted to go lights out, man. I felt like there was no way I could improve my life. Like Every opportunity, everything that I tried to go for, I just got the legs kicked out from under me and lost everything. And I thought, man, how can I even come back from this? Like how, I mean, there's just no way, you know, and I was using those kind of terms right at first. And then I looked at my girls and it's like, man, what am I going to do? I'm going to leave them? Like, just because I'm being a baby right now? Because what, I can't handle what's going on? And then I had to start going, well, why? Why can't? And then I get mad, right? And it's like, well, how can I change this life? How can I change what's happening to me? I can't make my son not have cancer. I can't make my daughter not have alopecia. I can't change those things. But I can change how I respond to them. I can change how I react to them. I can change what they mean. Do you know what I'm saying? I changed the way that I react to things. Like, for instance, when I get outside of my comfort zone, I get excited. I shake like crap, just like you do, right? And I get all effing nervous and I'm like, man, right? But then you'll see me start smiling. I'm like, this is awesome. Why? I have no clue what the hell's about to happen. I don't. I have no, like right now, I've got goosebumps. You can't even see. I've made myself have that emotion, right? And I'll rub my, like when you see me rub my ear, when you see me do that, it usually means like something just like I'm getting that kind of emotion so that if I'm ever in a bad mood, I can start rubbing my ear and I get in a better mood because I've associated that feeling with that feeling that I just created in myself. But here's what I want to share. You can do that. You can do what I just did. Now, when I'm in that mode, nothing's impossible for me to do, man. I think I can do anything and I can get myself right back into that mode. I've just got to believe in myself. I've got to believe that there is nothing that I can't do. What do you guys do to get yourself into that mode? What do you do to look inside of yourself and believe that there's nothing that's impossible? Or are you guys making calls where you guys go, I got to make this call again, right? And your hat's all like, you know, you're looking all jacked up, right? Like you just woke up and got out of bed and you look like crap, right? And then you're coming down to work. You're coming down to make something happen. You're coming down to get involved and get on the phone. And what? Inspire other people looking like that? I mean, I got dressed. I was at an event, came home, took a shower, changed, and got dressed just to do this event with you guys. I do it every night or every week. Golly, man, what am I doing? It's got to be getting late right now. It's got to be getting late because now I'm repeating myself. I'm getting crazy. I hope you guys are appreciating this though, and that you're able to relate to it, right? And you're going to see that it's a little quirkier because sometimes you're going to see my face where I'm trying to think of what to say next or where I was at, and it's pretty obvious when I lose myself. When you can say, I mean, I have no idea. There's probably 3 times in this whole entire webinar where I've kind of started a conversation and just kind of dropped off and went somewhere else. Just I forgot where I was at and nobody responded back to me quick enough. But that's what this is. This whole event, this whole webinar, it's about being real. It's about you guys literally being able to step into my life and see what's going on. That's why I do the daily videos with my girls. I want you guys to see daily what we're doing, to grow with us, to be able to relate to us. Because if you and I can relate, then what I'm saying is going to make a bigger impact on your life. Then what I'm saying is going to be able to become something, to grow inside of you. That idea, that theory, that concept of you being able to take your life to the next level, of you being able to be anything, is going to start to take hold. It's going to start to get roots because you're going to start to believe in what you're doing. Why? I hope it's because I inspired you to believe. I mean, you want to know what I'm going to get from this? It's helping you catapult. It's the desire and the dream that one day I'm going to run into all of you and you guys will say the same thing and feel the same way I felt when I met Jim Carrey. That I was the one that ignited that fire, that showed you how to think differently, that changed your life, that made that impact, that put the stone in your shoe, that made you uncomfortable, that made you say, I'm not going to live my life like this anymore. I deserve more, because there's no reason that he's a millionaire and I'm not. There's no reason that they are millionaires and I'm not. There's no reason that they have what they want and I don't. I deserve as much, if not more. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it. And I'm willing to show myself that I'm worth it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, guys, you can't prove it enough to me. You can't. You can't prove it enough to your spouse, to your children, to your parents. You can't prove it enough to anybody but you. You're the only one that you need to convince. You're the only one that you need to get permission from to believe in yourself that you can do anything. You can and will do anything that you put your mind to. I'm telling you right now, you can and will do anything that you put your mind to. I'm telling you guys right now, close your eyes right now and think about it. Think about what I'm saying. You can and you will do anything that you put your mind to. Now, those things, I know you can see what I'm doing, right? You can see me hitting it. That's because I'm getting those to trigger. I want there to be an emotional attachment to that phrase. I want that every time you guys think about me, that you think, I can and will achieve anything that I put my mind to. And it's all about sounds, the feeling, the emotion, the attack, me changing the way I talk, getting loud, getting or not loud, freaky, but getting loud and getting aggressive, right? And then pulling it back and talking to you guys at a different level, being quiet, being melodic. The whole idea is to take you guys on a ride every Sunday night, to bring you up, bring you down, bring you all over the place. But at the end of the day, when we come back to ground zero, that you guys are more inspired, more enlightened, and feel better and more empowered than ever before. And every week, it goes up a notch. That every week we grow our listeners. Every week we grow our downloads. Every week we grow our audience and who we're reaching. Because we know at the end of the day that our influence is what's going to it's what's going to make our future. That our circle of friends, right? Our support group, the people that we're around all the time, that is our world. Whether you want to admit it or not, that's your world. What is your world inspiring you to do? Or what is your world preventing you from doing? Only you guys know. Here's the thing. I'm never going to judge you. Whether you guys take action or not, that's you. Whether you guys do something or not, that's you. I can only show you what to do. I can only be your cheerleading squad. I can only sit there and guide you and promote you and inspire you and lift you up. But if you don't do anything, guys, nothing is going to happen. All you're going to do is just have fun every Sunday night, which I love, but I want more to happen. I want to create leaders. I want to create people that are going to impact their community in a positive way. We started at 2, 3 people on this call. You know, I told somebody this is show number, I think 31 right now. We're doing show 31. And I'm like, man, that's not even that many shows, really. Okay, there's 52 weeks in a year. We're over halfway through a year. We've been doing this steady, nonstop, every single weekend. What are you doing every single weekend? What are you doing every single week to inspire yourself? What are you doing to give back? What are you doing to empower yourself? Guys, what are you doing to take action now? What? What do you want to do? How do you want to live your life? When you guys think about the future, when you think about where you want to be in 5 years, so many people think, well, I just want it to be different. That's not a clear goal. Say, I want to own this. I want to own that. Put those in goals that are 5 years out. Brent asked me, should I do a 30, 60, 90? Yeah. And I want to be here in 60, here in 90, here in 6 months, here in a year. My God, why wouldn't you? Because what's the worst that can happen? You don't hit it. You're not going to hit it if you don't write it down either. I promise you. So what you're telling me is the worst that could happen is you get closer to that goal. Okay. Well, that's a horrible trajectory, isn't it? Write down your goals every day, twice a day. Write down your goals. You got to write them down. You've got to keep them at the front of your mind. Everybody that has done this has written me and said the next day, holy cow, I did this today and I made huge improvements. Every single one. Brent he wrote his goals down, he made a copy and then tagged me in Facebook. Do the same, please. Get out there, show people what you're doing, become accountable. We have, somebody asked me about this last week and now I remember why we were doing this. So we have the Facebook forum. It isn't really used that much. There's some people on it, but honestly, it isn't used as much as it should be. Let's make that forum for this project. Let's start utilizing that forum more. Let's talk about what challenges we're having with mindset. Because let me tell you one thing, guys, at the end of the day, that's going to be always your biggest problem. Because when you don't want to go back out and do something, why? Why is it that you don't want to go do something? If you came over here and we played a game of whatever, we played a gambling game, right? 21, and you won $1 million and went home. Would you be excited? Hell yeah. You come back the next day, you win $1 million, you go back home. Are you excited? Yeah. You're going to want to come back the third day, right? Why? Because you're trained to think I'm getting a good feeling off of this. Now, let's say you come over to my house, you play 21 and I beat you and you lose $1 million. You come back the next day, you lose $1 million. The third day, you don't want to come back again because you don't think you can win, because you don't have the right mindset. And you're going to start losing more and more and more because you think you're going to lose. Oh, I'm just going to go in there and lose anyways. What kind of mindset does that do? What does that do to a person? Now when he sees cards, these are probably going to lose, right? You know what I'm talking about. That's how people think. And every time you go, well, I'll give it a try, all you're doing is doing that exact same thing. You're basically telling yourself you're going to fail. How many times are you going to tell yourself, I'm going to fail? How many times do you sit there in your mind, not out loud, and go, man, that sucks. I wish I wouldn't have done that. 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 How many times do you do that? Stop saying that. I'm glad that happened. Now it won't happen again. I'm glad that happened. Now it won't happen again. Man, I am so glad that happened. I'm telling you, because now that won't happen again. What am I focusing on now? What am I focusing on? That it won't happen again. That I'm glad it happened and it won't happen again. I'm glad it happened, so I'm in a good mood. I'm glad it happened, so I'm excited. I'm glad it happened, so I remember I'm emotionally tying it won't happen again in a positive way. As opposed to, I wish it wouldn't happen, man. I wish that wouldn't happen. I wish it wouldn't have happened. Seriously, I wish that would, man, I wish it wouldn't happen. Now, what am I focusing on? Now, what am I causing and creating into existence with passion and fury, right? Man, I'm just, every time this happens to me, holy cow. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I get into these same moods and I have to stop myself as well. And the only way, guys, the only way you can focus out of any of that is through focusing on your outcome. What do you want to have happen by the end of it, right? What do you want to have happen when you're done with the conversation? Where is it that you want this to go? There's so many times when I've started getting arguments with people and I'm like, look, I don't know where you want this conversation to go, but I'm not looking to fight with you. So whatever it is that I need to say, let me say it to you now. Like, what do we need to do to stop this? Because where this is going is about to get really nasty. And once it gets past that point, we're not coming back from that. So what do you want to do? Are you going to draw your line in the sand? You want to just keep kicking sand, or do you want to stop it? And I'm going to tell you, man, this is challenging for anybody because all of us can get wrapped up in a situation. We can get wrapped up in the emotions. I made the decision actually today that I'm not responding to emails that get me sideways. I'm not responding to them anymore. I'm going to wait 2 days before I respond to any email, message, post, anything that gets me pissed off. I'm going to wait. If after 2 days I still want to respond to something that made me that angry, I'm going to be able to respond from a much better position and be able to make a better choice and be able to focus on my outcome. As opposed to when I would respond to it in the heat of the moment, all I'm focused on is how pissed I am, right? And how I want them to see my side. You know what? My side, it doesn't matter. Their side, it really doesn't matter. What matters is the relationship. What matters is the perception. Whether he was really or she was really right or really wrong is completely irrelevant because they believe without a shadow of a doubt that they're right. And you believe without a shadow of a doubt that you're right. So what, are you going to just keep banging heads? Are you just never going to talk to each other? It's all perception. They could have misunderstood one thing, you misunderstood another, and now you guys are fighting like cats and dogs over something that was completely a misunderstanding, but you'll never get to the bottom of it because neither one of you have grown up enough to go, I'm done, this is stupid. What do we really want out of this relationship? And we do it all the time. Focus on your outcome. And then engage your strategies like nitrous. Man, I'm getting off on some tangents. But you know what? The REI Expo got me just slam going. I'm just excited to do all this stuff. So, all right, engage your strategies like nitrous. You need to have the right strategy at the right time to attain your main goal. Multiple steps with multiple strategies to complete each part. And oh man, I'm sorry. Hold on. This is right in the way. Okay. The right strategy at the right time to attain your main goal. You want to create multiple strategies because you never know what can happen. And so you want to have as many tools to work through a problem as possible, right? Or a challenge. So the more strategies that you have, the more exit strategies you have, the better opportunity and the better position you are in a investment to come out ahead even when challenges arise, because they will. All right. So I think we're pretty much done here. My voice is really trashed at this point. We've got to be close to 90 seconds. Sorry, I'm moving the thing around and it keeps showing pause. So I think that's why sometimes you guys see it not saying anything. All right. Now, let's see. Next part before we end, guys, we talked a lot about talking to yourself tonight. All right. So I want you guys really to pay attention to the unfair secrets of hypnotic selling with NLP. That's going to be a big way for you guys to start believing in you. It's a way that you need to start talking to yourself. It's literally why we came up with the wristbands. That whole book gave me the idea for the wristbands because in it they talked about the words that we use and how it impacted the actions that we take. The words that we use impact the actions that we take. You want to start making better actions, taking better actions, start choosing better words to use. Stop using the word try, guys. Stop using the word fail. Stop using the word can't. Stop using the word should. Change your mindset. Change the way you do things. Change you. You've already gotten everything out of who you are right now. You've already done it. Great job. Man, I commend you on getting where you've got. Now, it's time to shatter that person. It's time to break that mold. You need to shatter who you are for who you want to become. My girls will tell you that over and over and over, all right? You've got to shatter who you are for who you want to become. You've got to be willing at any moment to exit that person, to delete that person that you are right now for who you want to be. You want to be something great? You're not great yet. You want to be something amazing? You are not amazing yet. I am not amazing yet. You will never reach your potential, ever. Because when you do, you're done. You always have to be striving for more, reaching for more. You can always do better. Always. It doesn't mean that you hammer everybody around you, but you always aim to improve because nothing is ever perfect. Nothing is ever just right. Now, it doesn't mean that you work on things insanely right until like nobody wants to deal with you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you do it right, but always aim for more, always reach higher, always go for more. Guys, download Force Your Dreams into Reality right now. You can go on to forceyourdreams.com and download the book. It's my ebook. It's what this whole entire series is based off of. I'm writing a second one right now called Questions Are the Key to Unlocking Your Reality. Because basically this is the how book. That will be the no, I'm sorry. This is the what book. That'll be the how book. This is what to do. That'll be how you kind of do it sometimes. That was one of the biggest questions I had with this book was all these things are awesome, but I don't know how to get into that mode sometimes. So that's what the next book is actually addressing is the how, the questions that we need to ask. All right. In addition, how to instantly connect with anybody. That's a great book for how to build rapport at a very quick level and a very quick speed. And then the other one, Keith Ferrazzi's book, Never Eat Alone. That it's the weirdest thing. I think the name of it is just so odd. It absolutely doesn't describe at all what that book is about. I guess how to never eat alone, but the whole idea of this is how to network. It's a blueprint of how to become one of the best networkers in the world. This guy was on 40 under 40. That's a huge list to get onto, right? So definitely check that book out as well. All right. Now, we have board games that we've got coming now. We've got the board games are actually available. If you want to know what to play with your friends, you want to start impacting them, you want to have a college game that's fun. Look, go on to c2crea.com/board game or /games, and you guys can see all these. We have board games, we have an online game, and we have a mobile game. The online game is about to launch. It's there, and you can actually play people, but it's not like live yet. It's still in beta mode. It's about to launch, I think, on December 1st. And when it does, we are going to have our first tournament to win the proceeds of a house. All right. And basically what will happen is you come in, you sign up for the tournament. Whoever wins out of the 5,000, I think, people that are going to be in it, whoever wins that tournament, we will come out to your area, get a house, flip the house, and give you the proceeds from the house, all while filming the entire thing. All right. So you want to start practicing to get good? This is how you do it. Jump on there, get the board game, share it. Also, guys, you can see off on the right side there or the left side there, right? On our website, on every page, there's a Facebook, a way to tweet it, a way to like it on Facebook, Google it. Please go on there and hit all those too on all the pages you visit, on the investing, the podcast, the webinars. Get the information out there. The more we can spread the word about our website, the better as well, right? I'm putting so much money into the transcribing, putting all our videos on there. I'm even doing this video, so now we can have video on there as well. So please do me the favor of at least helping me get it out there for people to see, right? Because, I mean, if nobody sees it, then what's the point in even doing it? And then, last but not least, follow us, guys. Here's our websites, c2crea.com. Find me on YouTube. You guys can subscribe. I'm trying to get up to 200 subscribers now on YouTube. I think I'm at like 180 or something. But I do videos every day or every day that I can. We didn't do one today or yesterday because we were at the expo. But we do videos every day to motivate you. Find me on Facebook and LinkedIn. And if you do find me on LinkedIn, please hit me up and then go to my skills. And if you have listened to the radio show, endorse that. I would love you to endorse just being awesome because that's my thing is, I am awesome and you are awesome. Endorse that. Guys, as always, thank you so much for being on the call tonight. Real quick, one last time, does anybody else have any questions before we move forward? Okay, and Beth, that would be a call for a different. That's a rental property that you bought. Get with me online. Ivan has his call this week. That would be a great call for, or a great question for Ivan's, or call into the hotline. That would be even better. Call into 888-570-7464. Wait, yeah, 7464. 888-570-7464. Beth, call in there and leave a message, a recording. Just, hey, this is Beth. I have a property in Missouri. Da 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 da. You have any advice on what I can do? Leave that, and I will actually answer that on the radio tomorrow, and you can hear that live at 1 o'clock. Is that fair? That's cool, right? And that way, more people get to benefit from that answer, and not just everybody on the mindset call. But anybody else have a question at all? There you go. Forgot we were doing video. At all. Does anybody else have one? Real quick. And okay, perfect. Guys, as always, like I said before, you guys put the why in our success. Please do me a favor, go on, talk about us on Facebook, tag us in Facebook, LinkedIn, every single social thing. Get our name out there. Help us grow this brand as well, because it's going to grow your brand, right? Think of this. It's not just mine. It's yours. It's not just Ivan's. It's yours. This is ours. This is a community project. It's all about us growing together. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. This recording will be up, should be up within a couple hours. I don't know how long it'll take me to upload this video because it should be in HD. So getting on YouTube might take a little bit longer than that, but it will be up, should be up by tomorrow night as well. Must be up now, right? Here we go. Guys, thank you very much. Have a great night.